braces for U.S. tariffs.
It's going to have a huge effect on just about everything we do here.
A hockey league is striving for queer inclusivity.
We realized that we had an opportunity to create a space that really rethought hockey from the ground up.
And one organization is breaking access barriers for people with physical disabilities.
Place those dogs for free. So we raise and train and place these dogs with people who need them.
Welcome to The Signal. I'm Callum Watson.
And I'm Talia Friedhoff. Our first story is about our very own bookstore here at the University of King's College. They're facing a potential 25% tariff on their books.
Reporter Sam Hodge spoke with Paul McKay about his plan to combat these tariffs.
Paul McKay is a problem solver for the King's Co-op bookstore. As the store's manager, he constantly works to keep the professors' selections on the shelves, promotes local authors, and keeps the books at the best price for students. But this next chapter is a doozy, a potential 25% tariff on books from the United States.
By Canadian authors and even Canadian publishers are often printed in the US. So that's honestly, most of the books in here are across the border or are printed in the US. So it's going to have a huge effect on just about everything we do here.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, McKay literally peddled his books to customers just to keep things going. This time, he's glued to his newsfeed. Bill Leahy is the president of the University of King's College. He says tariffs will affect more than books.
So cost of living will go up for students. That's a concern to the university. Our staff and our faculty, that's a concern. The cost of running the university is likely to increase or could increase.
McKay has a few possible solutions to the tariffs.
Some of the things I'm going to try to do are, if there are two different versions of a book, and I know this one will be cheaper because of this, I'm going to try to steer professors to this book instead of this one. We can also try to sort of meet in the middle maybe, like maybe I pay some of the tariff costs, maybe you pay some of it.
Right behind me here is the King's Bookstore, where yesterday on April 2nd, like all of us, heard the news that the tariffs would not come into effect, giving Paul McKay more chance to plan and prepare for the road ahead. Sam Hodge, The Signal, Halifax.
It seems like he has a good plan despite all the uncertainties.
Our next story is about Wellness Wags hosting a puppy yoga event. They're a non-profit group raising service dogs for Nova Scotians in need. Reporter Emily Conahan has the story.
Wellness Wags found a fun way to raise money. Puppy yoga with a twist. These golden retrievers are training to become service dogs. Sydney Bolak started Wellness Wags last year. After working for a larger company that trained service dogs, Sydney started her own mission.
So this is Callie. She's one of our Wellness Wags service dogs in training. Wellness Wags is an organization here in Halifax. We serve Nova Scotians who need a service dog, and we place those dogs for free. So we raise and train and place these dogs with people who need them. We are matching dogs for people who have a physical disability, so the use of a mobility dog, or a child who is on the autism spectrum between the ages of 3 and 10. So we raise these pups to help those people out.
Raising service dogs is not cheap. It takes 2 years and around $40,000 to raise one dog. Sydney says they need to raise $160,000 this year and again next year in order for the dogs to graduate. Everyone involved in Wellness Wags is a volunteer, so all of the money raised goes directly to raising the dogs. Logan Walker is with Motion Ball, an organization that supports the Special Olympics.
I think it was amazing. We had so many people come out, and it's been a really great event to just like bring students together and also bring light to what's going on at campus outside of the puppy yoga, so like the Motion Ball and Wellness Wags as well. So it went really well, and I think everyone has a smile on their face, so I'm really happy about that.
The puppy yoga event raised $1,700. Sydney Bolak says it's a good start in the heavy task of fundraising. She says Wellness Wags will definitely have more puppy yoga events in the future. Emily Conahan, The Signal, Halifax.
That sounds like a great way to make money.
I mean, yeah, who wouldn't want to play with puppies for a good cause?
Our next story is about a fundraiser, a talent show, and an auction was held to support the Freedom Foundation of Nova Scotia. Jake Piper has the story.
Dalhousie swimmer Sophie Idle is raising money for drug addiction recovery in Nova Scotia. A death in her family on September 3rd, 2024, inspired this fight.
Well, it's been an issue that I've had with people in my family dealing with for a long time now, and especially just recently in September, one of my brothers passed away from this exact issue that I'm trying to fight with this.
Damon Idle was 30 years old. Sophie felt she had to do something. At the end of February, she won the AUS championship with the women's swim team. At the beginning of March, she was hard at work planning a fundraiser for a drug rehabilitation facility.
Well, we're doing a talent show and auction with the varsity teams, Dell, and it'll be at the Growwood this Friday on March 28th. Yeah.
What's it for?
The Freedom Foundation of Nova Scotia, just a rehab center in Halifax here.
The organization Sophie plans to support is the Freedom Foundation of Nova Scotia. Curtis Fiener is the program coordinator and a former resident. He showed me around the organization's new house funded by donations.
When some of these guys come in here, they literally come in with a garbage bag. Razors, socks, Christmas presents, anything like that, it all goes to the well-being and to help build that confidence that you mentioned, to get guys back to looking themselves back in the mirror, because at some point when they come in here, they can't look at themselves in the mirror, right? So
in her brother's memory, Sophie hopes to help others who are struggling with addiction like Damon was.
I remember his kindness and compassion. He was very thoughtful, and I just want to make this event dedicated to him.
Sophie got that chance. Combined with a GoFundMe page campaign, she raised just over $2,100. Most of the donations came from the athletes themselves. Curtis was there. He thanked all who donated. He told the crowd that he is an example of how it's possible to make it through, that everyone has a chance with help. Jake Piper, The Signal, Halifax.
Well, it sounds like Sophie was successful in achieving her fundraising goal.
It's great to see athletic community rallying behind her.
Meanwhile, over at Acadia University, the swim team is being forced to part ways.
When the university announced they'd be shutting down their pool due to extensive repairs they don't have the money to fix, the school's swim team and community immediately jumped into action. Social media pages and online petitions were some of the things they did to advocate for their pool.
Despite the team's efforts, the university has not yet changed their mind. Marielle Godfrey has the story.
Halifax native Ella Collins is one of Acadia's top swimmers. She is also the women's team captain. In February, it was announced the Acadia pool would be closing and the swim team would be discontinued.
I just wanted to become so negative immediately, but I was, we need to be positive. A lot of us were considering transferring, also not wanting to think about it, not wanting to dig too much into the process, because we still had to focus on AUS in under 10 days at that point. And if all of us were talking about, I'm going here, I'm going there, I'm staying, I'm doing this, and we're only talking about leaving each other, how are we supposed to come together and support each other?
The swim team season is now coming to an end. They placed second behind the Dalhousie Tigers at the Atlantic University Sports Championship, and they had a successful run with some best times at the U Sports Championship. The team will continue to train until school is finished in April. Now, the fact the pool is closing permanently has set in for Collins. She is still grieving the loss of the team, but is hopeful for her and her teammates' future.
Sometimes I have to look on the bright side, where some people misses an opportunity to try something. I believe everything happens for a reason. Try to ring out. Hopefully everything works out. Passing.
Acadia University has had a swim team since 1921. Throughout the 70s and 80s, the team dominated Atlantic and National University Championships. These past couple of years, the Axe men and women have been one of Atlantic Canada's best swim teams. The team's success attracted swimmers from out of province to come to Acadia. Swimmers like Danielle Moss.
I'm from Ottawa, so it was far coming here, but the team is what attracted me. Like, other schools have programs, but it was the team that really brought me in.
Moss also runs the team's Instagram account, which has been filled with good luck comments after the announcement of the pool closure. Moss says being a varsity athlete has been an important part of her life that she hopes to continue at either Brock or Wilfrid Laurier University next year. The friends Danielle Moss has made and the lessons she's learned through the swim team at Acadia will last long after the pool is closed.
I feel it's really brought us closer together as a team and bonded us, and now we're just like, we will stay in touch like wherever we go because of this. It's almost like trauma bonding in a way. Yeah. And like on Sunday we're all going to get like axe tattoos.
The pool will permanently close on June 15th. Meryl Godfrey for The Signal, Halifax.
The pool's closure will be a sad day for many. Keep an eye out for the swimmers' next ventures. Our next story features an activity that brings joy to an older community.
And raises the question, how can dance enrich the lives of the people in Halifax?
That is the question Sarah Coffin asks. She is the co-artistic director for Motion Dance. Reporter Ellie Entecalfe-Smith was able to catch up with her to find out about this program.
Communities in Motion meets every Monday afternoon at the Central Public Library, creating a dance and practicing for their show, Spring Blooms. It took place on Sunday at Northwood Central Auditorium and Wednesday at Paul O'Regan Hall. Sarah Coffin, the director, knew the program would be a success.
Like, I knew people would fall in love with it once they tried it. I am biased though because I love dance. A lot of people have different expectations of, is this a dance class or not a dance class, or what is this creative process? And in creative process, things are open-ended and emergent for a long time as we try to like build the movement and craft the ideas. And so some people are like, just tell me what to do. But this program isn't that.
Georgina Chambers, one of the older adults in the program. She was diagnosed with health issues last year and was feeling isolated. The program was everything she expected and more.
I wasn't really expecting it to have such an impact on me. The social aspect of it and the getting to know people who are whose life stories were resonating with all of us in our own particular ways, and to see the way in which we were all prepared to take risks to, as I would say, make fools of ourselves over the course of a very short time. It's like we've become this little unusual family.
Coffin wanted the program to be free, so there was no access barrier, although this means it cannot run as often as the seniors would like.
Social connection is harder for older adults. So like, how can we build a program that would welcome this community in, because we know how beneficial dance is for cognitive function and physical and emotional well-being.
Chambers has been active her whole life and doesn't want to stop now.
Just that psychological aspect of being old and being told over and over again in our culture, you know, if you're in pain or if this happens or if you're not as, you know, strong, whatever, that's just because you're getting old, which I think is basically nonsense.
Ellie Entecalfe-Smith, The Signal, Halifax.
Who knew that dancing could have such an impact on people's lives?
Our last story is about a group of hockey players who are changing the game.
In ice rinks around Halifax, a new league is trying to make a change in hockey culture. Reporter Owen Starling was in Spyfield to check out the new Rainbow League from Queer Hockey Nova Scotia.
Since 2021, Queer Hockey Nova Scotia has been hosting pickup games and tournaments designed to create a welcoming space for LGBTQ+ people to play hockey. This past fall, they launched their first hockey league. Board member Nora Rennick-Reinhardt.
Our main priority when we started was just creating a space for people to play hockey. And as we got more and more of a regular following, we started growing, we started doing the tournament. We realized that we had an opportunity to create a space that really rethought hockey from the ground up. We're not the first. We're not the only queer-friendly hockey league in Halifax, but we are the only one that is run completely by queer people. And at the moment, we are reserved for queer-identifying individuals.
Named the Rainbow League, the new league combines all gender identities and all skill levels.
How do we prioritize building community and a space for everyone to grow and feel comfortable for folks who have been ostracized by traditional toxic masculine hockey culture?
Reinhardt said the Rainbow League wants to play physical hockey while staying respectful of opponents and giving newer hockey players opportunities to play the puck. But some players are quite experienced. Ray Paul has played hockey since he was 8 years old. At times, he played in competitive leagues 5 or 6 times a week. Paul said he has never had more fun playing hockey than he has with the Rainbow League.
Like, hockey is one of those harder sports to find other queer people in, and a lot of folks have like really difficult experiences playing hockey where they like couldn't show up as their whole selves. They had to, be closeted or had to pretend that they weren't queer. And I think it's really cool to be able to celebrate all the parts of ourselves. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be queer in my minor hockey career. I felt really nervous about it, and so I think that this league is a step in the right direction. There's a really cool vibe to it.
Reinhardt remains optimistic the Rainbow League can impact wider hockey culture.
I also feel like we're starting to hold other leagues accountable in ways that weren't there before. So there's conversations about pronouns, and there's conversations about the language that we use to talk to each other, and there's conversations about aggression that weren't happening before Queer Hockey Nova Scotia came onto the scene.
Owen Starling, The Signal, Halifax.
It sounds like they're working to make sports more inclusive.
Yeah, I mean, this league definitely sounds like a step in the right direction.
Well, that just about wraps up our show.
We hope you've enjoyed these stories. For The Signal, I'm Talia Friedhoff.
And I'm Callum Watson. Stay classy, Halifax.